Well, hey guys, welcome to this edition of Between the Weights, our cooking edition, right? We've been making meals. I've been meal prepping for a little bit, right? And we've started expanding what I've been doing to making meals for members of the gym, right? Because, I mean, let's face it, it just takes time to do this stuff, right? And it takes thought, and I mean, if that is what is keeping you from being successful, right? That's just how it is, right? It's just the way life goes sometimes, and so we're just kind of jump on here real fast and just kind of show you how easy it is, right? Now, I don't really follow recipes and or whatever. I get ideas for things on the internet and kind of look at recipes that way, but I am fairly confident in my ability to make things taste good, that I don't really follow other people's recipes a whole lot, right? And mainly because I'm slightly lazy, so I don't want to go through the trouble of looking up a recipe and following it to the T or anything. That's probably part of it. Another part of it is that I feel like I don't need to, I guess. Honestly, I can do it without you micromanaging me. Like, stop trying to tell me what to do, recipe, right? That's kind of where I'm coming from. So, but it is incredibly important that we do meal prep. For whatever the fitness goal is, whether you're trying to lose weight or, in my circumstance, I'm trying to get stronger, right? So I'm trying to gain weight, essentially, trying to add muscle mass. So I just need to make sure that I'm eating the right kinds of foods, right? And I'm also trying to be a little bit health conscious. I don't want to just get fat, and so we're trying to meal prep a little bit more, right? And so just on here, and we're just gonna go full on, like, you saw me pull the stuff right out of the bag, right? And throw it into this crock pot right here. I like the crock pot because I can press go and then walk away and do stuff. I don't have to. It might be technically slightly faster if I were to use an oven, like a stovetop, and cook it all right now. But I just don't have the patience or the time for that. Also, I spend most of my day, as you can see, I'm in the gym right now, right? And this method lets me kind of do this wherever I am. So even if I was traveling, I could do this. Now, I'm not saying that I'm gonna bring my crock pot on vacation with me, but I can. So this time we decided to do some sort of like a chicken fajita type thing, right? We've been doing chili, we did some pulled pork, like a barbecued pulled pork. We've done chili, we've done meatballs, we've done seems like there was something else that we did. Maybe that's it. But and all just in here, right? I'm just able to do all of it in here. So we're starting these fajitas off with just some good old-fashioned peppers, and not that I think it really makes a difference. I grabbed a bunch of peppers of just different colors because I'm an artist and I like it to be pretty, really is all that it is, right? And so we're just gonna get a layer in here. I like in my crock pots, I like to put the vegetable stuff on the bottom because I feel like it gets the meat away from direct heat a little bit, and I don't want my meat to be dried out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peppers in there right now. And I'm doing 5 pounds of chicken. So we did 5 peppers for 5 pounds. And again, that's not based off of anything other than I think 1 pepper is probably enough for 1 pound of chicken. And 1 pound of chicken is going to be 2 servings, right? So we're making 10 servings of chicken with of the chicken fajitas with what we're putting in here right now. I am a fan of butter, right? Real butter. I like the salted kinds just because it helps us get a little bit more salt. And salt is incredibly important. It's been demonized by really mass media and stuff, and people who just don't understand the actual science, like fat, right? Fat and salt have been made the bad guys, where they're not the bad guys at all, right? So we're gonna go ahead and add, because we're using chicken breasts, it's a little bit of a leaner meat, so we're gonna go ahead and add some fat right to this guy because you need it, right? And so again, if this is making 10 servings, we're gonna use 8 tablespoons, so we're adding 1 tablespoon is 11 grams of fat, so we're adding 90 grams of fat into our little recipe. And so, we need fat. Fat is just as important as protein and carbs, right? So it's just another one of those macronutrients that we need. And while it may have been demonized, again, it's been wrongly so, okay? So we're gonna experiment a little bit on this recipe. We're gonna go for a little bit more of a creamy chicken fajita. We're just gonna add some cream cheese, right? And really this is just gonna make it so that we enjoy eating it a little bit better. Because there's nothing worse than eating the same thing for 10 meals when it's disgusting, right? So this package, 16 servings. So this is 1,600 calories, about 10 grams of fat per serving. So about 160 grams of fat. We're adding some protein, right? So we're just getting a little bit more fat, protein, and some of our more vitamins and stuff, but it's just gonna make it creamy. It's just gonna make it so that you enjoy eating it, right? And it's important that you enjoy eating it so that you will actually eat it, because you need to eat it, right? So many of us just don't get enough food into our bodies. And so I'm just gonna kind of divide this up the same way I did the butter. We're just gonna dump that bad boy right in there because it'll all get melted together and whatever. We'll stir it later once it's all melted. So like the crock pot, man, I don't think too much about this Like I make it as simple as possible, right? Okay, so there's that. Now we're gonna throw our fajita seasoning in there. And because this is my recipe, I don't have a measurement for this. So we're just gonna play it by ear. If we're gonna make 10 servings, 1 ounce of this, I was looking at other packages, 1 ounce of this makes 1 pound of chicken, right? I was just looking at packages at the store, right? The little single serving packages. And so we'll just go a nice healthy, because we're making about 5 pounds of chicken. So we'll put in approximately, well, that's definitely not 5 ounces. If there's only 20 ounces in here, I didn't put 5 ounces in. So we'll throw in just a pinch more, just, you know, for good luck, I guess, right? All right, so seasonings are in because we want those to sort of marinate in all the juices that are at the bottom, right? We'll stir all that over the chicken later. And here we have our boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm just gonna open this package up before your eyes, so you, like I just came from the grocery store, right? So, we got this guy. Got our nice chicken breast here. Woo, doggy. That's beautiful. So we're gonna cut that into some strips for us, right? Yes, ma'am. And then we're just gonna throw that right on top, because why not? And again, I'm gonna be lazy, so we're just gonna go with slightly bigger pieces of chicken, which is fine because this chicken's gonna taste so freaking awesome that it's almost a little bit bigger when the pieces are big, because they stay just a little bit juicier. And that's what we like, right? We like the juicy. So we've got 5 pounds of chicken, right? 5 pounds of chicken, and that's gonna make 10 8-ounce servings, okay? So the package right here says a serving size is 4 ounces, right? Well, that's wrong. For us, a serving size is closer to 8 ounces of protein, right? In 8 ounces of chicken, we're gonna get about 50 to 55 grams of protein. And should you be getting the appropriate amount of protein, which happens to be 1 gram of, so the very least, you need to get 0.8 grams of fat or of protein per pound that you weigh, right? And that requires math. And so it's easier just to say 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh every day, right? 1 gram per pound that you weigh every day. So let's go ahead and get this chicken cut. So for me, I need about 230 grams of protein every day. 230 grams of protein. That means, I don't know, 200 divided by 50 is 4, right? So I've got to eat 4 8-ounce servings of chicken breast every day, if that's the only place that I'm getting my protein from, right? Now, in here we've also got our cream cheese. It's got a little bit of protein in it, just a tiny bit, right? But it has some, so it's going to go towards that number. And technically, our pepper has some protein, some plant-based protein, right? So we'll get some from there too. But so really, that's what we need. We will need 1 gram of protein per pound that we weigh. So that's why 8 ounces is kind of what we're calling a serving of this meat, because you need a significantly more amount of protein than what the food guide or the USDA sort of recommendations would have you believe. And that's just because, I don't know, they just don't know what they're talking about. The science is old, right? And they're always, it's the government, right? They're just behind. They're just always a little bit behind what's actually going on, what we know to be correct, and what the current science is saying. And so while you may not necessarily need technically 1 gram per pound, you can get away with. It's easier if you go. For me, I think it's easier if I say, okay, 1 gram of protein per pound that I weigh, and then I'm going to take 10% off of that, right? Because you can get by with about 0.75 to 0.8 grams per pound that you weigh, right? So that's closer to taking 20% off. It's like 80% of 1 gram per pound. But again, I mean, just trying to keep it as simple as possible. So technically, if I'm a 230-pound human being, then I need 230 grams of protein, take away 10%, which would be 23, so 207 grams of protein every day at the very, very least. And so I'm getting 50 or 55, maybe even with the cream cheese and stuff. It's hard to calculate just how much the cream cheese is going to go into each serving, but we are just going to guess that you're going to get 1 serving, which is only about 2 grams of protein from the cream cheese. So you could be getting about, if you go ahead and just say you're going to get 55 grams of protein, right? I eat 1 of these, and then I have a protein shake that helps me around my workouts. Then it's going to have 30, so now I'm at 80, and then I've got, maybe I eat another 1 of these, in the day. I have another 1 of these meals, so now I'm at 130 or 140 or so, and I can have another protein shake, and then maybe a couple of eggs for breakfast or something like that, right? So, but that's it right there. So the time on there, we got, I don't know, we're about 20 minutes into this guy. From the moment I walked in the door, like that's prep, that's everything, right? So this guy, whoa, hold on. We forgot an incredibly important piece to this, and that is this salt, right? We need the salt. I like the coarse salt right now because it's just going to dissolve in here. I like to put the salt on the top, put it in last on top of the chicken, because I heard something somewhere in one of these food shows about how salt brings out the flavor in the meat a little bit, right? And just for, cause why not? We'll just sprinkle some fajita seasoning on the chicken itself, and let that go in there, right? And so there we have it. We're done. We're just gonna put the lid on this guy and we'll press go. It's not frozen. It's chicken breast that we sliced fairly thin. So we'll probably be around cooking it real low for 6 hours. And we'll check it at 6 hours and see what the chicken looks like. And we'll take some measurements of the temperature of the meat itself, just kind of see if we're at that 160, 170 range that we need the chicken to be. I don't want to go too long, just because I like my chicken to still be tender, right? And then probably about, I don't know, 4 hour mark, I'll get in there, I'll lift the lid off, and I'll stir the whole thing up real good. Yeah, stir the whole thing up real good so we can kind of get by then all the stuff in the bottom has melted and the peppers have had long enough to sort of soften up a little bit, that will kind of mix everything in so we can get the chicken to really soak in as much of the flavor of the stuff as we can. But there we go. That's how we're making the chicken fajitas for the next week's round of meals. Thanks for joining me on we're not between the weights today, right? We're between the fridges. But thanks for joining me. See you next time.